Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's session, I want to show you guys how to create quizzes, look at a couple of questions, and how to review those quizzes or check those quizzes after the student have taken those quizzes using Google Forms, right? So we will jump back into our old classroom that we did last time, classwork, and you can remember we did all the setup for the various topics. I also did a feedback quiz at that time. So I'm going to build a new one today just to show you the procedure, and I'm putting it under topic number 3. So it's important that you organize your work also. So it's create quiz assignment. Let's give our quiz a title. Let's call this quiz 2 on computer parts, I guess. And the instruction to the student, which is answer all questions provided, or whatever it is, right? And then we are at, that's it. So we'll click on blank quiz. Actually, I think we could have given it the name here, but let's do it again. So quiz 2 computer parts and answer all the questions provided, right? So I'm thinking that you could have just labeled it here, but it's good to still put it in the other part just to make sure that it takes whatever setting we're adding in. All right, so there are various types of question. The first type is a multiple choice question, which you can see here. So again, I clicked on that plus sign to give me a question. I could have clicked here and it automatically generated also, right? So we're going to do multiple choice, and the question is, for example, what type of device is a keyboard, as an example, right? So option, I'll put in my option as input device, output, storage, or processing. So if you know the answer to this, then you're good. You're on your way to learning computers. So what type of device is keyboard? All right, so you also want to make sure that you specify what your answer will be. So I have my question, I have my choices. I want to specify what my answer will be and the amount of points to allocate, right? And we'll talk about required in a while. So answer key, I'll allocate 5 points to this question. I'll put in my right answer. So keyboard is a input device. So that's the right answer. You can have several right answers, right? And we can add a answer feedback. Now, if the answer is incorrect, I want to tell the user that is incorrect, right? And if the answer is correct, I want to tell the user, for example, great job, and then save. And of course, you can have other material listed if you want to add in like review material for your kids while they're going over the quiz after they have received it back with the feedback, right? So save. So it's allocated 5 points. It's a multiple choice question. I have my feedback for whether it is correct. They'll tell them great job. If it is wrong, it'll tell them that it's incorrect. So done. Now, I can have the question as required, meaning that the child will have to answer the question. So they must put in an answer. For the most part, I do this just to make sure that they answer the question, right? So required, and that's pretty much it. But say, for example, I have a question that is similar, and I want to save myself some time, and I'm just adding this in for right now. I can duplicate the question. So say for example I have a question that is similar, I can say, all right, duplicate, and it creates a duplicate of the question, right, with all the other stuff in place. So I'll ask another question. So it says, what type of device is a hard drive, right? Now the answer key remains the same, which was why I duplicated it, but I need to change the answer for this. So a hard drive is actually a storage device, and I'll take off that one. I'll still have it as 5 points. I will still have the same feedback saying great job if they got the answer correct, and if they had the answer incorrect, I'll say that is incorrect, right? So that's pretty much it. So done. And that's my second question. I will add in a new question, and it's going to be a different type of question. And keep in mind, I want that you experiment with the different types of questioning. So add question. I want to make this, and these are our different types. There's short answer, there's paragraph, there is multiple choice that we did just now, checkbox, drop down, linear scale. I normally would use this to get feedback from the students about the lesson, and some of the other grid that we could use, right? For the most part, I use multiple choice, short answer, and paragraph, and then a linear scale question at the end that is not worth anything. So let's do short answer. And the question here is, what device is used to display, to display data, right? And the short answer, my answer key, so now you have to go direct to answer key. Let me put in, made it correct. Answer key, my correct answer here is monitor, right? And so I can make all other answer that the child places in as incorrect if I wanted to. We'll still have to go in and manually check this at some point in case they put something else that is close to what or is different from what you have. So let's say the child put in flat screen monitor, it might not recognize flat screen as a part of it. So I'll allocate some points. Again, I'll just do 5 points. Answer feedback, I can enter a feedback for the answer for whatever answer the child gives in, right? I'm not putting in any here for now. And done. And finally, I'm going to do one more just to show you the different types. I'm going to do a question from a linear scale and ask the question, how was my lesson? And so this is just used so that I can get some feedback from the students taking it. So 1 to 5 linear scale. 1, I label it being not good at all. So my lesson was not good, and here the lesson was excellent. So you have a scale from 1 to 5. So I'm not going to give this any point because this is just for my feedback, right? There is no answer key for this. I will put it as required so that they have to rate my class, right? And then that's pretty much it. So once you've finished creating your quiz, the next step then is to get it to your students, right? And we did that in the first instance. So I'm just going to click here and close this out. Oh, let me show you guys quickly how to change the themes. So you can add in color and so forth, right? You can add in an image in the background. So let's say I'll do an image search for, let's do computer. And I'll use this image. So I can add in an image to my work if I want to make it all fancy, right? Because we're talking about computer parts here, so it would be nice to just have that here. I can change the theme to a different color if I wanted to. I can put in a header file and this has some great options. And of course, if you have your own image that you want to place in, you can do that, right? So this is great for just adding in that, and you can make a lot of different adjustments based on what you want for the team, but we're not going into that. I don't want to spend too much time on modifying, but you get the idea that you're able to create your quiz, create different types of questioning from this, and then you will send this quiz off to your students, right? So what the next step is that I don't click on send because I'm not emailing it. I'll just close it off here. All right, so that's my quiz. So the next step then is to assign this quiz. So I'll click on assign, but before that I choose the classes I want it for. This is okay because I'm practicing. Total points, I'll say this was worth 20 points. I don't remember how much I gave it. I think it was 15, right? I say 15 points. I can set a due date, and I can have it belong to a topic. I'll say have it belong to topic number 3. And I can add in a rubric if I did some short answer and some paragraph questions. That is fine. And then of course you have your plagiarism checker if you're giving short answers or again paragraph style. All right, from there on you can click on assign, and it assigns the quiz then to those users from that particular class. Notice here it's called quiz computer parts. I can move this down, and a lot of people forget that you need to arrange the work. I can move that down to below where the assignment work was. Great. So your students should have received that particular quiz. So let's hold on, let me get this out of the way. And I want to show you guys the one from the student. So this is what your students will receive. And let me just refresh. So they get something saying, all right, quiz 2 is out, computer parts, and then they can view that, right? Apart from that, they get a chance to go into their classroom. They can click on the class, they can classwork, and they go down to quiz 2 computer parts, right? So when they click here, they're able to then do the quiz. So they click on the quiz and they see the same nice quiz that you prepared earlier. So what type of device is keyboard? Let's say input. Device is hard drive, that is storage. Device used to display data. We could put a wrong answer just so you could see what happened. We should, Joe. Let's say they said, all right, display. As an example, right? And then my linear scale. How was my lesson? Let's say it was half. Good, because I'm struggling. And then send me a copy of my response. If the child wants to click that, they can. If not, they just click on submit. And then it should automatically grade their work. And you notice they got 10 out of 15. Show them which one they got right with the feedback that you give, and show them which one they got wrong, and show the correct answer that it was monitored, right? And then the rating scale. So that's fine. The problem is that when teachers want to check the quiz, you know, your first start is that you come here and you click on turn in, and you see, all right, quiz computer parts, and this person submitted, but you can't really, you need to put in their grade so that it's saved to the grade sheet, but you can't really click on anything else. If you click here, it gives you nothing, right? And this is where people get confused. Now, how I found, or a way that I found to do this, was to go into your, and maybe I should, yeah, let me go back. Go into your Google Drive, find your class. So there should be a folder called Classroom. Find your class, and my class here is testing, and look for the quiz that you just created. In my case, it is this one, quiz 2 computer parts. So again, go into your Google Drive, find the folder called Classroom that should have automatically been generated, and it has a folder in there for each classroom. Find the class and you should see your quiz. Now you're thinking, all right, yeah, but it's giving me the same blank form, right? You need to click here on responses. On responses, it has a nice graph of so if more than one person took the quiz already, it'll give you a graph and some details, some analysis data for you, right? Which is not what you want really, right? You can go to individual, and then it gives you, all right, testing, this email person took the quiz, these were his responses, and let's say you accepted, you say, all right, display device, you put, and you accepted that as an answer. You could give the child the point that you want and save. And so that would then say, all right, his points changed to 15 out of 15 points, and you could release the score and have it sent to the child. So the student should receive this new quiz score after you have released a score to them. If you have a lot of students in, you can click here to create spreadsheet, and it'll create a spreadsheet with the response from each child in different records, right, or different rows, and show what their response was, what their score was, and the title. This comes in nice whenever I want to move grades apart, because notice now, although the grades are here in forms, you still need to save your grades as a part of your quiz. So if you go back to the quiz itself, in here I would have to go and say, all right, the student got a score of 15 after I made the modification, right? And I saved that, and then that student's score will be saved to the quiz itself. So the next time I come in, I can actually come here to grades, and it should show the score for that student based on the quiz that they took, which is 15 out of 15. Good. So I am hoping that this was useful to you and that it's something that you can do. Again, the idea is that you create your quiz, you send it to your students, they receive your quiz, they do it, and then you go into Google Drive, find that folder, and then find the quiz and go to individual responses. Check through your quizzes. If you did short answers or paragraph, make the modification to the points and then send it back, and that way then you can place in your answer, your scores for your student. I'm hoping this is helpful. Thank you. Have a great day. Like always, guys, be safe. Go geek yourself.